The strongest conservative voices in America is joining us now live to talk about his latest book, Michael Savage. We wanted to thank you so much for joining us today. Michael, how are you?
Hey, it's great to be in Cincinnati with you this morning. What can I say?
Well, it's good to have you. All right, let's talk about this new book. It is called Trickle Up Poverty. Explain that title.
Well, it's the middle class that's getting hammered. What's the middle class? Who's the middle class? It's you and I. People who work, people who pay taxes. President Obama was seen as a sort of Robin Hood who was going to take from the rich and give to the poor. Unfortunately, that's not what's happening here. He's taking from the middle class and giving to the rich and the poor. And that's the problem right now. Do you know that we found out from government data last week alone, Tanya, that President Obama has added more to the national debt in the first 19 months than all presidents from George Washington to Ronald Reagan combined?
Well, a lot of folks would say...
I didn't make that up.
I know you're not making that up, but a lot of people would say to you, yeah, but he has a war to fight, 2 wars, in fact, and he's also having to fight the economy.
Well, you don't fight the deficit by increasing the deficit. If I ran my household that way, I'd be bankrupt. It's true he inherited a $1 trillion deficit from George Bush, who was fiscally irresponsible. I had said so for 2 years straight on my radio show. I saw where Bush was taking us. But then he increased it from $1 trillion to $3 trillion. That doesn't make any sense. If I'm running a deficit in my household of $100,000 at the end of the year, I don't go and borrow another $300,000. That's fiscal insanity. You've got to cut back on government programs, cut back on foreign aid, cut back on spending in general. I don't hear that coming out of the administration. Nobody's hearing it.
All right, let me ask you real quick, because we only have about 30 seconds left, about the Tea Party and the GOP. Should the GOP just put its arms around the Tea Party and its candidates and say, all right, you're part of us now?
If they don't, they're going to be out of business, because the Tea Party really isn't a Tea Party. It's the conservative base of the old Republican Party that walked away from the Republicans when the Republicans started walking over to the Democrats. So when you say Tea Party, you're talking about your neighbors. These are average working Americans who've said enough is enough is enough. We want fiscal responsibility. We want tariffs on Chinese goods. We want the war in Afghanistan to come to an end because we don't know why we're fighting it. It's commonsensical. It's the true grassroots movement that everyone has been waiting for, and here it is. These are ordinary people, Tanya.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is provocative to talk to you and to listen to you, and I wish we had a little more time to do so. Michael Savage, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Absolutely. And his book, of course, is called Trickle Up Poverty. Our thanks to his publisher for that time.